And believe me, had it been I didn't discover that, I would have ended up just being a drummer. Because I used to play drum back then. I thought that was all there is to my life.
Yeah.
Living a purpose-driven life means that you are aware that you didn't come to this earth by accident. You came by providence. Purpose is individualistic. So I have my purpose to fulfill. You have your purpose to fulfill. That is one misconception people have. People thought that all there is to purpose is one being on stage. So I studied software engineering. If you take away the back-end structure from the web, the front end become nothing. Purpose is something you discovered as a result of a relationship with God. Because many times people have confused talent to purpose. There's so much book does to the mind. There is so much.
Hello, book lover. Welcome to another exciting episode of Book Review with Shalom, a place where we dive into the world of books, thoughts, and ideas. In this episode, we have a guest in our midst. He is a Christian author, he's a speaker, and also a person who is passionate about raising youth who understand their spiritual authority. Recently, he published a book titled You Are Possible. He's no other person than the founder of Kingdom Meal, Sir Michael Otohinuyi. Michael, it's such an honor to have you on this episode of Book Review with Shalom tonight.
Thank you so much for having me around. Thank you.
I can't really say how excited we are to have you, but we really want to discuss some few things with you. And I've followed you recently and beyond, and I've seen that you are so passionate about helping the young ones out there to discover purpose, to understand their paths in life. And we have been on the subject of purpose on Book Review with Shalom. We want you to help us with some few questions, who want some direction, want to really draw from your wills. What does it really mean when you say somebody is living a purpose-driven life?
All right. Thank you so much. Living a purpose-driven life actually means that you are living intentionally. It means that when what you do flows from why you exist and not because of trends, not because of pressure. Living a purpose-driven life means that you are aware that you didn't come to this earth by accident. You came by providence. So there was a need in the heart of the Father, and God sent you into the earth to be an answer to that need. Living a purpose-driven life is you understanding that need, working in alignment with that need, working in alignment with that template. Now, narrow it down to the scripture. Hebrews chapter 10 verse 7 says something. He said, "Lo, I have come in the volume of the book as it is written concerning me," not concerning us. It means that purpose is individualistic. So I have my purpose to fulfill. You have your purpose to fulfill. Right? Yeah. So he said, "I have come in the volume of the book as it is written concerning me to do thy will." The will of God over our lives are different. All right? So purpose is understanding that will, aligning your heart to that will, and fulfilling that will.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I love the fact where you said purpose is individualistic. It means I cannot borrow or copy what somebody is doing.
Sure.
Unlike what we see when people are beginning to follow trends, people are beginning to copy, people want to mimic other people and leave other people's purposes. Now, I've also seen that there are a lot of misconception about the subject of purpose. You hear people say purpose is how to discover purpose, or your purpose is a passion that is in your heart, or your purpose is the job you're doing. What are some of the misconceptions that we have around the subject of purpose?
Okay, let me just list two out of the many misconceptions about purpose. A lot of people thought purpose is something loud. Fulfilling purpose, you have to be on stage. It has to do with microphone. It has to do with you, having loud or great crowd around you. No. Sometimes purpose may not be loud. There are times purpose can be loud. There are times purpose may not be loud. Take for instance, intercessors.
Yeah.
Intercessors have a purpose to fulfill, which is coming into the gap between God and men to ensure that the will of God is bettered forth. Yeah. So many times we don't even know those intercessors. Only God knows them. So we must understand that there are certain purposes that are not loud. So that is one misconception people have. People thought that all there is to purpose is one being on stage. So I studied software engineering, and I've had few years of experience in web design and development. There is what we call front-end development. There's what we call back-end development. So when it comes to the front end development, so many times this is what we all see in the websites. But what enables that functionality to be effective is as a result of the back end structure. If you take away the back end structure from the web, the front end become nothing. All right. So there are so many people whose purpose are connected to the back end. Their work may not be seen by people. So yet they are fulfilling purpose. There are some whose purpose are connected to the front end. Those works are visible. So you must understand that purpose is of two ways. It's either visible or not visible. But whichever one, you just have to understand this. Because many people are coming to the spotlight and they are not meant for the spotlight. Or because of pressure, because of trends. People are on the spotlight. Let me also go there. And most at times, those people that come to the spotlight, they fail and disappoint God because they were never called to be on the spotlight. So this is one misconception about purpose. The second misconception about purpose I've seen over time is that a lot of people confuse success to purpose. Yes, you can be successful outside purpose, but you cannot be purposeful and not successful. Yes, so many people, you can achieve a lot outside purpose. All right, you can achieve so many things even outside the will of God. So success is not the measurement of purpose. All right, many people are successful and they call it purpose, and they are not purposeful. So this is another misconception about purpose.
I think there's a whole lot. I wish we could literally just write a book from everything you've said. I major on the part where you said people want to be on stage. People want to be seen. We are in a technological generation where technology is everything. Everybody wants to see something on social media. Everybody wants to either start a podcast and believe that that's his purpose in life. Everybody just wants to be there. And it is true. I agree with you 100% that you can be successful and not purposeful.
Yeah.
That reminds me about a book that was written by Rick Warren, The Purpose Driven Life.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read that book.
Yes.
Wow. I must say it's a powerful book. So we want to hear your experience from your, after reading that book. What was your experience? What was your experience and what is your take about the book?
Okay, first, the author is someone I so much love, right? I love the way he connects purpose to kingdom. Because you can't talk about purpose fulfillment outside the jurisdiction of kingdom. All right. So I love the way he connects purpose to kingdom. He made it clear in the book that you are not living for yourself. You are living for God. So if I know that I am living for God, it means that I am not to do what only pleases me, what only excites me. So before I do anything, I should be able to align my heart to the heart of God and ensure that that flows from what God had in mind and not from what I have in mind. So that book brought us that knowledge that purpose is not about you, it's about God. And then that we must also live intentionally. The book also talks about you discovering purpose. Purpose is not something you are just, you just wake up one day and start doing whatever comes into your mind. Yeah. Purpose is something you discovered as a result of a relationship with God. Because many times people have confused talent to purpose. Yeah. Yes. Because you are a talented gospel musician doesn't mean that is your purpose. All right. So the book talks about you discovering your purpose through relationship with God. You don't just wake up one day and anything that comes into your mind, you start working with it as your purpose. It doesn't work that way. Those are the two major aspects the book really speaks of that really touched my heart.
I am somebody who have discovered a purpose. I guess this is somebody out there's question. I've discovered my purpose. And how do I now deal with fear and uncertainty? Because there's this place of, oh, this is what God is telling me to do. What would society think about it? What will I tell my family? And how do I go about it? I'm not even sure if I'm going to succeed or I'm going to fail. How do I deal with fear and uncertainty in the area of discovering purpose?
All right. Let me start by saying this. That on the last day, when everyone will be accountable to God with how he or she utilizes his potentials, we will all discover that no one will be there with you to give excuses on your behalf. All right. If you have this understanding, it will first of all cancel the subject of fear. And we must know that fear is not something that disappears like that. No, fear does not disappear. Fear is something you outgrow. No one successful on this earth today that do not in one or two ways outgrow fear. You outgrow fear. You don't, sometimes if you go and pray and like, God, let this fear go away. Fear will not go away. You actually outgrow fear. And the easiest way to outgrow fear, get materials. As you begin to read materials, it begins to shape your mind. And your physical action is as a result of the resultant effect of your mind that is transformed. All right. So if you see anybody today walking and fulfilling purpose without fear, one or two ways the person has outgrown fear by reading materials. There's so much book does to the mind. There is so much. So much book does to the mind. Book has a way of transforming your mind. And once your mind is transformed, those mountains you consider mountains before become nothing again. They become plain. And you begin to see possibilities where you won't see limitations. Yes, the easiest way to conquer fear as a person, trying to discover purpose, trying to find your roots in your purpose, is to outgrow fear. And the easiest way to outgrow fear, as I've earlier mentioned, buy materials. Soak yourself into those materials. And don't forget what I started with. On the last day, when you start giving account of your life, none of those persons you are afraid of will be with you to give excuses on your behalf. You only have one life to live. Be unapologetic about it.
Yeah, be unapologetic about it. I love your statements about being unapologetic about it. I think if a lot of us in the society are really unapologetic about what we do, and most especially if we have had God towards that, a lot of people will discover that life is not really as difficult as they think. We emotionalize a lot of things. We are trying to make sure that, oh, my brother is okay. Everybody around me is in agreement with what I want to do before I venture into it. So I'm going to take this question a little bit personal. Now, this is directed to you. What's pivotal moments in your life helped you to discover purpose when you know, because we cannot dispute the fact that you're living in purpose. We have seen you live life that through your own life has brought glory to God. So what moment in your life has helped you discover this purpose?
Okay. Earlier before now, when I was very young, I'm someone that used to be passionate about a lot of things. You know, I just want to be successful in whatever I commit my hands on. But there was a moment in my life where I was just studying the scripture, praying, and then before you know, I felt a tap on my back. This is the way I have laid down for you, walk in it. And when I saw that, the first image I saw a balloon. And inside that balloon were many soups. Then I saw another balloon again, very big. Inside that balloon were a few souls. And the Lord told me, even He said, this is the people I have called you to build. But look at the few that have only been blessed by your existence. When will you wake up so that those that are here in this other balloon will walk in their true reality? And that is when I started praying, I discovered that my purpose is mainly in building men. If you know me over time, over the years, my central point of existence is in building men. It's in building men. I am someone that is so passionate about youth coming into the reality of who they are, understanding spiritual reality, and not be victim of oppressions or satanic attack. Yeah. So it was at that very moment I discovered that, okay, this is what I was called to do. And believe me, I didn't discover that, I would have ended up just being a drummer. Because I used to play drum back then. Yes, I was known for playing drum. But it will be hard for people to believe today. Yes, I used to play drum. I thought that was all there is to my life. Yeah. But on that day, when I was having a relationship with God, there was an unveiling. God brought me to the light of why I came into the earth. That was the pivotal moment that brought an understanding of my purpose to me.
Wow. That's so much. If somebody who is going to be watching this video or who is watching this video right now that is on the journey of purpose discovery, I want you to just give us a word of advice before you go about how this person could be helped, what you want to say to this person watching this video. Just a word of advice to anybody who is watching this video to understand purpose better.
All right. Let me start with this. If you are at this point of your life, the first thing I will encourage you to do, start with God. There is no better person that understands your life other than God. There is no better person, I will repeat, that understands your life other than God. So start with God. Purpose is discovered, is sustained in the hands of God. He's someone that already knows your end even before your beginning. Yes. So have a relationship with God. Start with God. When you start with God, one of the things that happens is that you discover why you are existing. Yeah. And secondly, the boldness to become who you were born to be will be stirred up. Because many people that fulfill purpose never thought they would become all they were. Take a look of Gideon. Gideon said, don't you know that I am the least in my clan? That was his answer to the angel. But God had to salute him according to his identity in heaven, not according to what he saw about himself. God came and said, you might think you are the least in your clan, but you mighty man of valor. The man never knew he was mighty until that salutation came. And the salutation came from heaven, not from earth. So that is why you have to have close relationship with God. In that close relationship, God begins to bring you to the light of who you are. Not only that, you begin to exercise a high level of boldness towards that light. All right. And the second thing I would like to also tell you is this. Avoid comparison as much as possible. A lot of people compare themselves. Yes, you can be cooking Indomie, I can be cooking beans. The duration it will take for my food to be okay, to be done, will be different from yours. So we all are on this earth fulfilling different purposes. There are a lot of persons that it might only take them 5 years of preparation to become all there is to their life, while yours might take 8 years. So everyone has wilderness experience, and our wilderness experience differs from one another. So you must understand your own template, your wilderness experience. You stick to it. Because when God is done with you, everything will make sense. Most at times, it doesn't make sense at the starting point. Most of the time, this is why people come into comparison. Oh, this person is doing better than me. I am not doing better. I'm not, God has been keeping. No, take away this. Just understand your template, stick to God. At his appointed time, everything will make sense. It never makes sense to Joseph in the prison, but it later makes sense at the later end. That is it.
That's true. Thank you so much, Sir Michael. Thank you. We wish we had so much time to discuss more. We hope to also bring you on another episode so that we can drink on this well. And I hope you, the viewers, have been blessed by this episode. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Remember that your purpose is not just something you wake up one morning and discover. Your purpose is a God-given assignment. You do not have to go with trend. You do not also have to please everybody in your journey of purpose. And the last thing he said that I will personally be going home with is everybody has a wilderness experience. You might be in your wilderness at this point in time. Do not compare yourself with anybody out there. Stick to your path and God will help you. Remember to chat us up. You can also follow Sir Michael Otohinuyi on Facebook. He's on X. He's on Instagram. Follow him, like his pages, and you will be blessed tremendously. Thank you for staying tuned to this episode. See you on the next episode of Book Review. From us at the studio, we are saying bye for now.
Thank you.